I've started recording so I can start filling up my hard drive. Just so everybody knows on the call, if you ever get into recording your own like sessions and using OBS or whatever you end up using for your clients, remember to turn off the recording, because my hard drive evidently can only take so much. It was like a month or so ago, I forgot to turn off the recording. I came in the morning like, you are out of this space. And I've been recording at 1080p for like, what was it, 12 hours? So my hard drive says it can't take it anymore. So I do recommend, like, as MSPs, you guys do some recording. Like, these are pretty popular. People really like just like seeing that their MSP is more than just a bunch of guys coming fixing computers. So
there you go.
That's my quick tip of the week and lesson learned of don't fill up your hard drive with a blank chair facing the screen. Anyways, so as you were saying, Skip, like this week we have like Dana showed us some really cool new features in the platform that I didn't know existed, and you were just talking to another client about this stuff.
Yeah. So and I'm a little fuzzy on this. Adam and I don't have a back end PSA to really play around with this, so I leverage you guys when I get a chance. Thank you, by the way. So jumping in and seeing real world application of this, and the ability to sit down with a client. And again, this all goes back to our process on this. Having a conversation with the client, not a presentation, right? So we have this report up. We go over some things. We've got some recommendations. They're listed there in our project roadmap. And then being able to go over to that roadmap and flip the bit on the status and change that, I think with the right integration and the right workflow can really help you guys streamline your operations. To Adam's comment earlier before we started recording, one of the characteristics of IT or requirements of IT is be lazy. All right. And so with that ability to flip the bit and create opportunities within ConnectWise from managed services platform, I know for many of you that creating the opportunity or creating the activity, however you guys are structuring that takes on a life of its own. It's just got to be started. And so to do that in real time, essentially from the reporting tool, I think will help you guys and really maximize efficiency. Of course, we can push out tasks and tickets. We've got a lot more detail on that. I'm seeing some fields surrounding it, so that should help you guys out some. But the opportunity exists for you now, and with the client, say, okay, they want to do this. Flip the category status there, and by the time you get back to the office, the wheels are already moving and things are already happening. So that's going to help you really scale this up, be quicker to market on this, and scale it at the right extent that you need for your clients. So if you've got a question on these, Adam's going to show us some more things. Several of these may tie in with the recent feature updates and the PSA integrations. So definitely reach out to Managed Service Platform if you need some additional help on that PSA integration. It does sound like this is a hot topic.
PSA is public service agreement, right?
Yeah, not really.
A public service announcement?
Killing us.
Oh, everybody could tell, like, the moment that I came from the corporate IT world, so sometimes it really shines. Anyways, yeah, the thing to remember though, like as I'm showing you this stuff today, is don't forget the human element of it. So the three great virtues of IT have always been impatience, hubris, and laziness. Impatience, the ability to do things quickly and efficiently. Laziness, the ability to do things so well that you never have to do them again. And hubris, the ability to do things so amazing that other people want to brag about them. And so that is the three great virtues. I wanted to add in a fourth, is like, be human. Don't forget that you're a person, and to that end, like when we're presenting to people, like often people enrolling in the HIT program or the VEP program really want to say, how do I automate this? How do I make this automatic? And you want to streamline, just like what Skip was saying, like we want the gears and we want the ball to be rolling, for the processes that matter. However, you don't want to abstract yourself to the point where your clients don't see value in you. And so with these new features in the platform, it really like helps us bridge that gap between how do I automate this so that I have less work to do, but how do I provide more value and a more conversational topic. So let me flip over here. Let me give everybody a better view. I'm going to big screen today, Skip.
All right. There we go. Now we got the detail.
Yeah, I got the old man eyes on. You can see what's going on. I'll let you manage the chat queue since
all right
today. So the big feature that was just like mind-blowing moment for me, and I will create a skill building video for everyone later on this. Just like skill building videos are in the Wistia channel, and they're like little 5-10 minute videos that just show you how to quickly do something, whether it's how to have a better meeting or a quick way to create service cards. So here I have our standard test client, and Skip likes to use Joe's Trucks. I like to use Apple Accounting.
I just like the picture with Joe's Trucks.
What?
I like the picture of the truck.
The Tesla truck is pretty sexy.
It's not even the Tesla truck. I don't know what truck that is.
It's a Tesla truck.
It is? Okay.
It is a Tesla truck. So
right.
I've yet to see one of those in real life, though. I don't live in that big city where I get the new. I did see a Lamborghini the other day. And in Lincoln, Nebraska, that's a pretty big thing. Like if you drive a Lamborghini, everybody in town knows that's the green Lamborghini. Bob has that one.
You see it sliding sideways across the ice.
We are a conservative people here. Like a fancy car for us is like a Jeep, or like the Platinum Series truck. We like our stable and something that can travel the roads. A Lamborghini has no place in Nebraska in the winter. Anyways, but what we have here is Apple Accounting, and Apple Accounting I have set up for anybody who really wants to see like how like an engagement with a client should work. This is officially been set up the way a annual engagement should look for a client. I have audited them for disaster recovery, for NIST cybersecurity, Office 365. I've audited their technology stack, and now I am doing a services assessment with them. All of this rolls up, and I don't want to show my clients all of these reports, so I'm going to go into my strategic QBR. This is my bread and butter. This is where Adam Walter lives, eats, and breathes. So you ask yourself, like, well, is that robust enough for our conversation? Is that enough for me to go in? Because my client's going to want to know what's going on the back end. And the answer is yes. So if Skip goes in and does a services assessment, I should probably look at it as the VCIO on the contract. However, all of Skip's recommendations from that report have been filtered up. So a lot of you know this. You've seen the project roadmap. You see the maturity on each one of the reports that we ran, and we see that Skip has done a number of recommendations for this year. And so I'm going to run with my client over that, and maybe they have some feedback for me. Maybe they say, you know what, I really want the on-site support, but I don't need it to be 24/7. Or we need to make sure that everybody knows that we're closed on Mondays. So how do I edit the on-site support to be a little bit different for this client, or to let my engineers know that there's something different about this client? In the past, we were just SOL. Like, screw it. It is what it is. But now we can have a conversation with our engineers. Now we can say, hey, the client really wants a different set of deliverables here. So we can actually go into the card. So what you see me do there is I just clicked on the on-site support that we're going to kick off in April. And I said, hey, we're just going to do 8x5 with them. We're giving them a little bit of break on price, and we're going to do 8x5. And also, they're gone on Fridays. They could care less. So just be aware that Fridays are not available. So Monday through Thursday only, they're a bank. Or they're like, I worked for a bank marketing firm once, and that place was like ghost town. Come noon on a Friday, you couldn't find anybody. So make little notes in here, change it a little bit. Show the value of having a conversation with your clients in the meeting. So while I'm doing my QBR, they may make an adjustment like, hey, with the file share and sync solution that we're doing, I really, really, really do not need, we really need to focus on the data migration section. So I'd like to have this done by July. Make a note in there. So we know we're going to kick off this file share and
And
sync
let me
solution.
say something, Adam, while you're in there. So here's again, I'm always back on the scalability side of things. So as we go through these projects, and I know several of you guys, engineering background like me, you're looking at that going, man, I really need to put a lot of detail in there. Well, one, no, you don't need to put a lot of detail in there. Okay, that's the project scope, not the project description. All right, we're in the describing the project. Two, we can customize this, but here's where you scale. You do the heavy lifting with the narrative, those paragraphs. You only do that once. All right. Now we've done a lot of it for you, so we've got great templates out there. Launch with those. If you need to wordsmith those a little bit so that they match up better with you, that's a one-time deal. You can edit and be done, and then going forward, you put deliverables as bullet points. Okay. We're all in the technology sector. If there's one thing we can do, we can create bullet points. All right. So now you've scaled this out so that you or anybody in your organization can sit down with a client. You've got the heavy lifting done with the narratives here, the descriptions, and all you have to do is document the bullet points, the things that are really important to the client. Is this going to tie back to a particular business initiative? If they've got something coming up where they're needing this done before a certain date because they have an audit coming up. I knew you were going for the dog.
She was eating my plant.
I knew it. So if anything, is particular here to the client, drop it in as a bullet point. It's quick, it's done, it's relevant to the clients, and you're on and moving forward with. So my message here is there's a little bit of heavy lifting, maybe most of it shared with Virtual C, but there's a little bit of heavy lifting to get these things done, and then it's quick and easy with the bullet points, and you're on task. Okay.
Yeah, and that's
what chew on the tree again.
What?
It's just gonna go chew on the plant again.
Nah, she's heading over there. She knows better.
Yeah.
So that's my office dog. Just for all of you to know this week, it's been distracting. She came home with us on Sunday, and I get to dog sit every day. So I bring her to the office, and I've got her bed over in the corner here, and everybody in the office is like, "Oh, there's a puppy," and then I've lost like 20% productivity because of this dog.
And I don't, and so I'm a dog person, but I'm glad we're virtual because I don't have to smell the dog all day. So.
Oh man, she's okay. She's been introduced to Stick. So, but the point that you made is exactly right. Like, we want to keep these deliverables as consistent as humanly possible because we all know Snowflake clients, but we'll never get away from the Snowflake client. Unless you become a large conglomerate MSP that only serves one set of customers and you have a standard way of doing things and you can tell them like, look, we do this or we don't do business. You're going to have Snowflake customers. You're going to have customers that you don't deal with on Fridays, that you don't deal with during the summers. This is where you can adjust those service cards a little bit. And so with a lot of those new service cards that you're going to see us come out with, let's see if I have one in here, like Service Help Desk. You're gonna see that the deliverables for these guys are actually like very simple. So you'll see it just start off with just help desk services. And the reason is for you to add your own personal note to this. How do they want help desk to be done? How do they, is it, what's the SLA here? Do you want to add in some deliverables that are going to be in your MSA? Put them here. And this way, during your QBRs, when you're talking through these projects, you're being reminded of like, all right, we see that it's Q2. What do we got coming up here? We've got the file share and sync project coming up in July here. What do we got? Oh yeah, we need to make sure we get that data migration done in July. We have to make sure that gets done. I've highlighted that. We talked about that in January about how this data migration has to be done in July because we're a school and we don't want to disrupt services. So that's our reminder. This is how the conversation starts happening. So as I'm doing my QBRs, I'm checking what quarter am I in and what do we need to talk through. Then I'll expand it out and like look at my service cards here. But now that we can edit them, I can leave myself little notes. Like I know this is coming up. I just need to check my notes. Oh, look, this is also coming up. Is there anything I put here? Nope, nothing else. This is just a standard mobile device management project. No special features to it. My team can run with it.
Yep.
So that is the conversation for your QBR.
Let me jump on one while you got here, Adam. I don't know if everyone's noticing there, but we've got some I don't know what to call them, some grabber dots or something, that show up next to the projects. If you hover over there, you now have a feature there. So those, you can grab that and reorganize that list. So that's been a long requested feature. I'm glad they did that. So now we can prioritize this. And my little bonus recommendation is here is take those top 3 items, and where it says TSA, file, share, and sync, whatever, delete that, all right? And in place of it, put whatever business objective we're really trying to do here. Enable contract sharing for remote meetings or something. I don't know, whatever it is that they're really trying to do. The reason why we're implementing this, not just because we think it's cool, what's the business need? And if you have item 1, 2, and 3 listed there, they're all specific business goals, business tasks for your clients. You're going to get a lot of traction on that. You're going to get, things done.
Every quarter, your client is reminded of, hey, this is going to get us those contracts so that our sales guys can be more up to date. You may not care because this is not your company, but they're looking and going, oh my gosh, I can't wait until I can share those contracts with my sales engineers overseas or in the other side of the state.
Yeah,
like this is going to be a huge boon for them. You care about, this is the file share and sync solution, because that's what you're going to deliver on the back end.
Right.
However, your client's going to go, oh my gosh, we're finally going to get those contracts out in the cloud where we can get a hold of them and update them real time.
Yep.
And that is an excellent point, because business objectives on the roadmap right here, this means nothing to a client. Office 365 OneDrive, productive file management. I fell asleep before I finished reading that,
That's it,
But if I put down, up here.
Oh, that one's got video in it.
Yeah, it's got one of those nice little Microsoft videos in it.
All right.
So access to files anywhere. Ooh, man, evidently I cannot type today. This is what happens when you give me that espresso machine, man. My fingers shake in the afternoon.
There you go.
But anyway, so now it's meaningful for your clients.
Yeah.
Now they can look down here and say, what? Access to files anywhere. Your client understands this. Yeah. And for your more technical clients, maybe they'll want to keep up the MileIQ mileage reporting, or, change it to.
And if you guys have, heard me talk at any more than once, I probably said it at least half the time I talk to everybody, is we want to always be aligning the technology that we're delivering to our clients with their business goals. Okay. That sounds great. I know. I mean, and that's really what we want to do. I mean, we want to deliver really valuable solutions that drive their business. All right. I know realistically, though, you're sitting down, you're looking at this client, and you go, hey, look, the PC lifecycle management, I know we need to do it because I know PCs run better if we get them under our management process. Right now, I can't think of a really business-specific driver. I can't, put my finger on something yet. I'm sure it'll come to me, but right now I can't do that. Don't worry about it. Take this list, do the top 3. If you can prioritize the top 3 with business goals, you're knocking it out of the park, okay? You'll get to the others later as those things percolate up, become more and more important. As you tie business goals to them, you'll be able to move them to the top. So, what's our saying? We keep around, don't try to boil the ocean, all right? So you don't have to tackle that whole list with business initiatives. If you can, great. But if you can't, just do the top 3 and you'll be far, far ahead from where, we're just promoting random tech projects that we think they need to do.
Looks like Amir has a question. Do you want to go ahead and put that in chat for Skip to respond to? In the meantime, while Skip reaches out to you, is one other thing I wanted to show people real quick is that over here to the right, I've had a lot of people ask me, can these be changed? And
Oh,
my answer
yeah.
has always traditionally been, sorry, you just kind of got to integrate them. And now you have the option of changing. Did you know this, Skip?
I had seen that earlier, but I didn't know where we went to go do it.
Under your profile over here, change project status. So you can align your project statuses with whatever you're using in ConnectWise or your internal project management team. So now you can come over here and you can create your own project statuses on hold, in movement, in operations, in delivery, whatever your project statuses are, your stati, you can change this to, unicorns. Yay. And then you can go up here and click the icon and change the icon to whatever you want. So is there a unicorn up here? I don't know. Nope.
Thankfully.
Horse? Nope. So anyways, I can change it to whatever I want. So I can go with the Android over here and we're done.
Now, just keep in mind,
when I go into my projects, I can.
Now, that order of the icons, though, I think, if I remember correctly, Adam, that is important because those statuses and there, there's what, 7 of them, and the numerical order ties to, if I understand, an integration on the back end with your PSA. So,
okay.
Flipping it from basically stage 0 to stage 1 on the back end will, create the opportunity going from.
Okay, so exporting to ConnectWise is going to affect the state.
There, before you go, just all
changing things willy-nilly.
There you go. Yeah, keep that in mind with your integration.
Did you get that question from Amir?
Yes, we got it taken care of here.
All right. Is there anything the rest of us need to know, or is it just my microphone being funny?
You're all good.
All right. So I really like this because I know I've had a number of people ask me, like, they have different project statuses. And so this really helps them. I probably won't change it on our end. I might change the icons a little bit because I like graphics. But this is the major thing that really changes my conversations, because before I had to go through and I had to explain, like, oh yeah, the PC lifecycle management. Then I'd have to scroll up to my my executive summary or my project listing below. So the project scopes that I have, or I'd have to flip over to my project recommendation section and I have to explain what this meant. I don't have to do that anymore. In fact, I can probably delete this whole section out of here, outside of the fact that I really want people to continue to think like this. So it might be that in our service cards, we update all service cards to contain a section like this for deliverables, so that there's a scope of deliverables. And so that when you come into your roadmap planning, which this is on the projector when I'm talking to clients, like what's coming up, and I can click into it and boom, I have the business need right up here. I've got what I'm going to do with it and how it's going to help the client. So a great place to, like, we usually have a benefit section on here. You might want to just customize this. But now you've simplified your reports so that they're no longer needing that extra project scopes. You no longer need the extra section on road mapping, on descriptions. You can now use this for your entire conversation. So just look at what quarter you're in, coming up on quarter 3 on this situation, and look at the projects that are coming up and then go through them. And you can just not worry about the ones below. So that's my tip for everybody this week. That is what I am super excited about. And if anybody has any questions, just feel free to reach out here. Skip, did you have anything else to add today?
No, that was
too much on people's minds, but I was just super excited about this feature.
Yeah, I really am, because I've been struggling the same with you, Adam. We've got, I spend a lot of my time in like the stack assessment, the technology stack assessment. We get down in there and we're going through, we're collecting, current state, future state, we're rocking along, we're making notes in there. There's a detailed notes section, and we can create tickets from there. And the challenge has been, how do I bring that information that we're kind of sort of capturing there? How do I bring that up into the strategic conversation. And in the past, it's been scroll up and down, and I don't like that at all. So now, we get that in the project roadmap. We get that with the hover that comes up. Now, I will say that actually gives us a little more flexibility, perhaps, to tap into what we can do in those notes sections. So if you remember, when you're doing an assessment and you go down in there, right underneath the assessment category for each one is a notes section. And if you click, it looks like just one line, but if you click on that, you get the full Managed Services Platform text editor that comes up, right? So you can put a ton of data in there. And I have seen clients do that. They're talking about, something with, one that comes up a lot is the server lifecycle maintenance, right? They'll actually import a list of all the servers, specific servers with environment, their age, their function, the planned retirement date. I mean, they can put all of that in there because that information is all relevant to that one particular element of the assessment. However, we don't need to talk to the clients about that in a strategic engagement. That's not the point. All right. So this is where we have the ability to leverage the tool a little bit more, keep notes and data in places that are relevant to the conversation and the activities that we're engaging in. So leverage those as well now. If you haven't used the note section in the past because you didn't want to get into the weeds or didn't want to put data in there that you thought the clients would spend too much time talking about or have too many questions, great. Now we can get it up higher level and drive those conversations where we need to be in those strategic engagements.
Yeah, I think the last thing I really want to just reemphasize, and I mentioned it briefly earlier, so I'm back in my low res version here, is that when you have your reports, like a lot of you are used to delivering all your reports to your clients individually, one by one. So as you see, like you come down to Apple Accounting here, and you see that I have several reports in here. If I spend my valuable time talking to my clients about each and every one of these reports, you know what? It's easy, because I can walk in here and I can spend an hour talking about the technology stack audit, what their environment looks like, where they're going to be. Why is there a frozen? Anyways, where they're going to be, and I can eat up a 2-hour slot just talking through all the technology and what this means. And then I can eat up another 2-hour slot talking about how their Office 365 audit went, how their cybersecurity audit went. This is in beta for all you beta users, by the way. Same thing. And then the disaster recovery. What do they need to do here? IT services. These are all hour-long, 2-hour-long conversations that are really easy for us as IT professionals to have with our clients. Your clients don't care, though. Would you rather be talking to them about how awesome your service portfolio is, or would you rather be talking to them about things that matter, like how your service portfolio is going to empower them? And that's where I say, do your reports on the back end, audit their systems in a consistent fashion, and stick to one easy to read client report. I don't care which one, as long as it is easy to read and doesn't have a glitch in it up here. My browser is being funny. And just follow through with that. You should be able to throw this stuff up on a monitor and have a conversation with them about, hey, instead of the service portfolio, instead of talking about the TSA, instead of talking about switches and tickets and speeds and feeds.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
We're talking to them about how we're going to empower them. And once again, when you take that more human element to your MSP's approach to clients, everyone else who comes in there try to take away business is going to look like a bunch of schmucks. They're going to look like a bunch of people who just, oh, you're just going to fix our IT? Well, our guys already do that.
Now, you can also take that to the next level. And if you've got those reports and you're running those, you've got that process down, go ahead and create an activity for those, a client engagement activity, and say, hey, we're gonna come out and we are gonna discuss just the NIST cybersecurity assessment. And that's all we're gonna do that time. All right, maybe it's an annual event, but you put that out there, you set a deliverable, and that helps define your VCIO services. So it's not just, hey, I'm going to sit down every quarter with you and talk strategically. Right? You can say, hey, I'm going to sit down every quarter. We're going to talk strategically, and annually we're going to do these things with you. We're going to meet with you to discuss this. We're going to dive in on this, and it allows you to build out a more specific delivery set for your clients again, so you can go and differentiate yourself for your clients, so that you show you're doing something, as opposed to just say, hey, I'm going to do this for you guys.
Yeah, and with especially with like the NIST, so you're pulling up your report, and that brings up a good idea. People like talking about cybersecurity. I don't know why. I was a cybersecurity manager for several years. It's boring stuff. It's a bunch of policies and governance. Anyways, but it's sexy, right? Hackers, blue team, red team, what's going on? Anyways, they might say, hey, I'd love to learn more about why I'm 57 out of 70. And then that's your cue to say, oh, that's awesome. If you want, as part of your contract, we can bring in the cybersecurity team, and we can go through a deep dive of what security means and how the NIST assessment runs. I'm not an expert on NIST assessments because I am just a VCIO, but Kevin over in our cybersecurity department is really great. He's been doing NIST since the beginning, and he really has a great way of explaining it. Can I get some time on the calendar? And so that way you're not taking up your time in your QBRs with technical items. Your client feels valued because they can deep dive where they want. They can open up this report and they can dive into it during the next session. And then when your cybersecurity guy comes in there and is talking through, how is this looking? What are we doing here? And what are the recommendations and how did we come up with them? He can be updating things. He can making new recommendations, and it's going to update our master report. And so that becomes a separate engagement. You're eating your donuts, having your coffee, and talking through what does cybersecurity mean. Not all your clients are going to care about that. Maybe they want to know more about how things went with the technology assessment because they're really worried about their technology stack. Maybe they're worried because the last MSP burned them on servicing. And then you can bring in your service manager and have them talk through, like, why are they different? How they can do it. So put a face to these teams, but only upon customer requests. And that's where you're going to show depth. Whereas other people are going to have these automatic dashboards, and they're just going to show, hey, look at this dashboard. And like, well, what if I want to know more? Well, can you drill down into it? Well, here you can. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this took us like 2 hours to do this on the back end. And if you want to talk to the person who ran the report, I can bring them in for a separate meeting. If you want to know more details, I can click through. This isn't just an automated tool. This is a human relationship, but there is a lot of streamlined automation to it that makes your lives a lot easier and helps you sell faster. And that's the biggest thing out of this, is when you start turning these into conversations like this. I, Adam Walter, cannot sell MileIQ. What I can sell is I can look at the CFO in his eyes and say, hey, what if I could get all of your employees to start doing mileage tracking today? I've got the CFO's undivided attention. He doesn't care what the application is. I suddenly have his undivided attention because he's got a fleet of 200 people that he has trying to crack the whip on to get the mileage on so that he can get the tax write-offs. His crews don't care about tax write-offs. They just want to get their job done. But what if I could provide a solution that automates mileage tracking for every employee? I've suddenly just got a project. They're buying in. And this is what we're finding from other VEP customers when they're doing this style of presentation in their QBRs, is the clients are buying in faster. Because they're not buying an application, they're buying an experience. They're buying a solution to a problem they have. Skip, you're being awfully quiet over there.
Right. So my building facilities guys have kicked off some ridiculously noisy project, which basically involves the largest pressure washer I've ever seen. So I don't know. I'm trying to minimize the background noise.
All right. Well, that's all I had for this week anyway. So be more human with your clients. And that's my plug for the direction we're taking the VEP community, is taking into this more human approach. It's simple, it's stupid, I know. Anybody can do a more human approach, you would think. But in IT, we fail at it so often. And so taking these new cute little features that are in the managed services platform in the tool and using them to your advantage to force your employees and direct reports to have more human conversations. Maybe make it a requirement in your organization that they have to rename a project to a more human result. So if they that make it a rule in your MSP that they will no longer sell SharePoint, they will sell a collaboration tool or a solution that'll say, hey, increase communication amongst all employees. And that becomes what you're selling. Would you like to have something that's going to make your lives easier on your telephones? What if I could automatically route calls to the right place every time? Don't talk about VoIP. That's too abstract. I want to solve a problem. And these little features, and the reason we're so excited about it is because they bring that human element to it. They're going to help you sell more. They're going to get you more engagements, and it's going to take some of those dollars that are on the table right now with existing clients and put them back in your pocket. And your client's going to be grateful for it. With that, that's all I have to say for today. Skip, thank you.
You bet.
And this is a very busy one. There are a lot of people here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at coaching@virtualcy.biz, and we will help you out as best we can.